to regular council meeting of Monday, May 14th. That's probably not on. Is it on now?
It's on.
Yeah. Welcome to the regular council meeting of May 14th. I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. And adopt the first motion is to adopt the minutes of Committee of the Whole, April 23rd, where I believe there's a correction.
Yeah, there's a minor housekeeping amendment. On item 5.2, we noted the time incorrectly of 11:19 should have been 10:19 when Councillor Carlson left the meeting. That will be corrected in the adopted minutes.
She didn't raise her hand. Also, for the regular council meeting of April 23rd and the special council meeting minutes of April 30th. So could I have a motion to that effect? Thank you, Councillor Peak. Councillor Trainer, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Public hearing report, 2.2. CAO?
You have a correction on that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, we do have a correction there.
That one, there's a spelling error on page 3 of 15 of a street name. It's been corrected.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor.
You should tell them.
Yeah.
I don't have the street name.
Okay, it was,
Public hearing.
it was Biagioni, and Biagioni was spelled phonetically instead of correctly. So, it's a well-known name to most people here. At any rate, that's correct.
That's all.
Okay, Council, would I have a motion to adopt the public hearing report as amended, please? Councillor Holmes, Councillor Peak, Councillor Trainer. Okay, no, we've got the motions. Okay, any further discussion? There's so few of you, I was thinking. Okay, any further discussion? No. All in favor? Carried, none opposed. Okay, resolution to adopt our agenda tonight. There's no changes to that, or have we got some?
No.
Okay. So a motion to accept tonight's agenda. It's Councillor Holmes, thank you. Councillor Peak, all in favor? Carried. Opposed, thank you. Okay, moving into our public and statutory hearings. We have a public hearing for official community plan bylaw amendment for 12914 Prairie Valley Road, bylaw number 2018-009, and zoning bylaw amendment 12914 Prairie Valley Road, and it's bylaw number 2018-010. I'll now outline the public hearing process. This public hearing is being held pursuant to Section 465 of the Local Government Act. During this public hearing, anyone who believes that his or her interest is affected by the proposed development will be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard or to present written submissions respecting matters contained in the bylaws that are subject of this hearing. All information, correspondence, petitions, or reports that have been received concerning the subject bylaws have been made available to the public. Council may ask questions of staff and public, but once the public hearing is over, no new information can be received. Council debate on the bylaw will take place when the bylaw is considered after the conclusion of the public hearing. At that time, any questions of staff will be for clarification purposes only. I will be inviting the public to come forward and present their comments. Speakers are asked to state their name and address for the record. Speakers are encouraged to limit their remarks to 5 minutes and should include all of the relevant information in their presentation. Further opportunity will be afforded for all persons to speak a second or third time once all persons have had an opportunity to speak. I'd like to ask the planner to introduce the bylaws, please. Mr. Condor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. The bylaws under consideration have 3 main components. 1, the official community plan is proposed to be changed from agricultural to rural residential for a portion of this property. 2, the zone is proposed to be changed from A1 to CR1 for a portion of this property. And 3, this application is also to create a site-specific lot size for the piece of property that's going to remain zoned A1. The property is located at 19214 Prairie Valley Road. The area under consideration to be rezoned and to have the OCP amended is shown in the red hatch. The area that's not red hatch would remain zoned A1, but would have a revised minimum lot size of 1.4 hectares.
Thank you. Do we have any correspondence?
No.
No correspondence, okay. Would the proponent like to speak? No. Okay, I'm going to give the opportunity for the public to speak and to present their views for the first time. Would anybody like to speak? Okay, for the,
Could you speak a little louder?
oh, I'm sorry. Is this not on?
I don't know if it's on, but I find it very difficult to hear you from back.
Oh. Actually, Alex was a little late. Was it need to be turned on? The system may have been turned down a bit. I thought I was speaking loud enough for the mic. Is that better? Okay, because I do get accused of muffling and mumbling and et cetera. Okay, for the second time, I'd like to ask anybody in the audience if they would like to present their views. And for a third and final time, would anybody like to come forward and present their views? Okay, thank you. Council, I would like a motion to adjourn the public hearing, please. Councillor Peak, Councillor Carlson. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Okay, we're moving on to a special section. We've got delegations, and the first delegation is the Summerland royalty. We'd like to do the oath of office with the new royalty. I'll come around and invite you ladies up.
Welcome, ladies.
Yeah, it's not that.
Come on up.
And face it.
Can you each have a copy?
That's right.
I'm administering the oath of office, and you'll just repeat after me and insert your name for the signature. With Miss Summerland, Olivia Croft, Princesses Jessica O'Gorman, Diana Felizi, please step over to your oaths. So please repeat after me. I promise to act as an ambassador for the citizens of Summerland.
I promise to act as an ambassador for the citizens of Summerland
And conduct myself to the best of my ability as a respectful, trustworthy, and positive leader for the community.
and conduct myself to the best of my ability as a respectful, trustworthy, and positive leader.
I promise to be committed to the role and duties befitting Summerland royalty,
I promise to be committed to the role and duties of befitting Summerland royalty
and be an outstanding representative for our community.
and be an outstanding representative for our community.
Congratulations. I'll have you sign these. So I was there for Saturday night. It was a tremendous show. So, sign here, Olivia. Sign here. You? Jessica. And finally, Tiana. There we go. And next one, each table. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Summerland royalty for 2023. Okay, next, 5.2, Kettle Valley Railway Society. An update. Mr. Conrad.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm pretty sure there was a line that was used for years by a stand-up comedian back in the 70s. Go ahead and top that or follow that. Mr. Mayor, members of council, thank you very much for having us here today. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to give an update to the council and through you to the larger village community on how things are going at the Kettle Valley Railway Society. I'll present against this agenda. Next slide, please. A little bit about the year we've just finished. Our annual general meeting, including introducing the new president of our board of directors, plans for the year upcoming, and questions. And I said, President, I meant to. The year passed. Next slide, please. 30,000 riders last year, just a shade close or short of the year before, which was a record, so 2 years in a row, very well. We've purchased new equipment for the railway, nothing big and railway-like, but some supporting equipment, which we found very useful, including a light pickup truck that can run on the rails and, as I've mentioned in the past, proved instrumental in our being permitted to run all last year during the very high fire hazard season, because we had the equipment and a plan which met with the satisfaction of your fire safety people. I think that was a great piece of partnership. Upgrades to the passenger experience. By the Christmas trains of this year coming, you're going to see a better heating system in our train. And in cooperation with the Chamber of Commerce, we ran trains during the Summerland light-up last fall. This proved very successful, a nice add to the things you can do in Summerland during that weekend, and we're going to continue to do that into the future. Next slide, please. At our annual general meeting, we were pleased to welcome in excess of 60 members of our society. Our membership is up, touching 100 now. 60 of them are there. We started the meeting with an introduction and a presentation by Mr. Joe Smuin. Some of you, if you're railroad historians, will know Joe as an avid archivist and historian of the Kettle Valley Railway, and he put up a fantastic presentation. We're going to work more with Joe to bring some of the great material he has to display in the station. And in accordance with the provincial regulations, we've brought into place a new constitution and bylaws, and they were accepted by the membership. We elected a new board of 8 directors. In accordance with that new constitution and bylaws, we can grow our board. And the new president sits with us today. Sharon Unruh has accepted, we don't have a sash or a crown for you, Sharon, I'm sorry. She's accepted the role as president and, oh, by the way, was the one that wrote the Constitution and bylaws. She's done great work for us in our society. Next slide, please. Moving forward, the year upcoming, adding events and continuing with events we added last fall. The murder mystery train and the Halloween trains. If I could take just a second about those. Next slide, please. Ladies and gentlemen, Murder on the Rails. Read all about it here. I won't go into this great poster, but it will be around the village starting today. In cooperation with the Summerland singers and players, we are putting on a murder mystery on the train. We're doing one for sure. If it goes well, and we hope it does, we'll probably try to put on a second before the year is over. Next slide, please. We are also this year going to, and I think I wasn't here, but it's a return to something we've done in the past. We're putting on Halloween trains, both Friday and Saturday of the weekend immediately prior to Halloween itself. 2 trains each day, one at 5:30, which will be a slightly lighter version and aimed at the smaller trick-or-treaters. And then at 7:30, for those of you who would like to dive into the spirit of Halloween more fully, we will try our best to put on a good show. Light Up Weekend, as I mentioned before, we're going to continue to do. We are looking at expansion and upgrades of our infrastructure. We are looking at new equipment and increased capacity. Our fingers are crossed. It's an aspiration, a stretch goal, if you will. We're very much focused on seeing if we can either acquire a 3rd passenger coach, an enclosed coach, or completely refurbish the one we already have, which is in pretty sad shape at the moment. so that we can increase the capacity at Christmas time, because we don't run open-air cars at Christmas, even though there are more than a few enthusiastic passengers that do show up at Christmas and say they'd love to ride in an open air. We know better, and we won't offer that service. And if we could go to the next slide. I'd like to just finish by mentioning a couple of things. Our season has already opened, if you will. We've done Easter, we've done Mother's Day. We did a train in cooperation with the Peachland Legion, and Councillor Carlson was kind enough to come along with her family and join us on that, in support of the Legion and marking Victory in Europe Day. This has gone well 2 years running, so we think we'll continue that. Our opening day season will start this Saturday, the 19th. We're trying to make a bit of an event this year, perhaps to do this into the future, so there will be food, hot dogs, soda, chips, juice for the kids, all provided to us by the Summerland IGA, and our thanks to them. And in the morning, when you arrive for the morning train, thanks to the Summerland Tim Hortons, there will be coffee and Tim treats to be enjoyed. Donations for all that will be taken and contributed to the local food bank as a way of supporting the local community. As we continue our work together, I would be remiss without mentioning Councillor Janet Peake, who continues to sit in our board and is a welcome presence to keep us connected to how things are going in the village. The kind of thing I think you can sense we're aiming to do here in cooperating with the Summerland Singers and Players, and cooperating with the board, and cooperating with others. We want to continue to be a premier tourist attraction. We also want to see ourselves woven into the framework of the South Okanagan and Summerland as part of the tourist, the history, the cultural, and frankly, the business community that is here in this great little village. Barring your questions and anything I might have missed, Mr. Mayor and councillors, I thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Council, questions? Comments? Surely, Councillor Peake, go ahead.
I'm very privileged to sit on this directorship, and I must say that the people that do the work at the railway, those that do the operations, are unequivocally very enthusiastic, well-trained individuals, and that the board is very representative of the work they do. I believe that the Kettle Valley Railway Association, our society, is actually one of the best businesses we have in Summerland, and it portrays itself that way not only as an event and a business, but it brings the heritage of our community to the traveling public. And I think that that's a great opportunity to showcase Summerland. So I'm very pleased that they come and do regular updates. I'm especially impressed with the work they're doing towards future planning, and I know this council will really enjoy those ideas as they come forward. So congratulations on the work you did in the last year, and I know these things will be wonderful this coming year, Jared.
Thank you very much, Janet. And that gives me time to review my notes. Opening day, we're going to have a balloon artist and a face painter for the children, and we're going to decorate the station. So it'll be a fun day to bring your kids out and ride our train.
Remember that, Councillor Traynor?
Yeah, I was just wondering, do you have any update on the trestle at all?
We don't have a specific update. That's why it wasn't on my agenda. Fundraising continues towards that, and the cautiously optimistic estimation we have now is that we will get through another season before we have to start that work. But I would emphasize, of course, if the trestle bridge should ever get to the point where we no longer believe it 100% absolutely safe to put the train on, we will not put the train on it. We will simply continue to run, and we'll go down as far as Canyon View platform, where we will stop. And because of the extra time, I would imagine what we'll do is just give you a chance during that stop while we water up the engine to stroll out onto the bridge on foot, take your photographs, and then return. South Africa, Victoria Falls, they do something very similar to this.
Councillor Holmes?
How do you test whether it's safe or not?
We have a structural engineering company that is under contract to do the inspections and stay involved with this at all times. Our operations manager has considerable expertise in this area from his experience of years of doing this, but they're the certified engineers, structural and bridge engineers that bring that expertise to us and provide that oversight and certification.
Is it like when you have to change your tires, they tell you you have so much tread left, or how is it,
I wish it was as an exact a science as your tires, but it is in that general thing. That's what got us started about, 2 years ago now, thinking we have to start making our plans for this. But it continues to be, as we would have called it in the Air Force when I was a pilot, on-condition maintenance. The condition of the equipment will determine when the maintenance is actually required.
Anybody else? Counselor Peak?
Jerry, I wonder if you would like to make a comment on the installation of the drop table?
This is under infrastructure, and I'd love to talk about anything railway, I just didn't know how much time we wanted to spend. We are installing...
Not too much longer.
Right.
Thank you.
Immediately behind the engine shed, for those of you that know the layout, we're installing a pretty substantial piece of equipment, which will permit us to take the drive wheels off of the engine and send them away to be refitted. Going to your tire question, the steel wheels on a driving steam engine actually have an outer ring, which are called the tires, and have to be replaced. So that's one of the major pieces of infrastructure that we're investing in right now. We also put new steps in front of the station. We're going to extend the concrete platform. Everything continues to try to up our game incrementally, to be better and better all the time.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your attention.
I think what I appreciate mostly is what you described in terms of the synergies you're trying to create by working with various groups in the community. I think that's really key. You know, it doesn't matter which group it is, whether it's the wineries or others, but to create that synergy and move the tourists through the various things we have to offer. So I
Absolutely.
really appreciate that effort. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Okay, Council, we need a motion to receive the presentation, please. Councillor Peak. And Councillor Trainer, thank you. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. We now have an opportunity for public comment on any highlighted items in the agenda. Does anybody like to come forward to address any item, please? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to my report. Okay. First, I would like to express my concerns for all the homeowners that have been affected by recent flooding. It's a tremendous workload to protect homes, property, and livestock. I'd like to thank our CIO, Linda Tynan, and all the staff for all their hard work over the last several weeks. The flooding that has occurred so far has required diligence to avoid serious damage to district infrastructure. Unfortunately, as you can see from today, the hot weather of the last week is not over, and continued vigilance will be required over the next weeks. And I might add, there isn't any department that is not affected when we run into these large, not catastrophes, but efforts that we have to make to meet these difficulties. Next, I'd like to thank Councillor Carlson for stepping up and taking part in the VE celebrations. Later at the evening dinner, the executive of the Legion had great praises for your participation. On May 4th, I had the distinct pleasure of attending the Neighbor Link breakfast at the Summerland Senior Village. This dedicated organization of volunteers provides the personal contact of helping people, neighbors helping neighbors, and people helping friends and strangers. It's an organization creating a web of assistance in a world that can leave many feeling very disconnected. And it was interesting. The evening was excellent, and the breakfast was excellent, and we really got a feeling for how involved the volunteer group is in the community. And I'd like to thank Mariana and the NeighborLink organization for all that they do for the community. The 218 Blossom Pageant was another success this year, a great success, thanks to the Summerland Royalty Committee. I'd like to give our sincere thanks to Miss Summerland, Chloe Knowles, and Princesses Emma Federer and Trista Algar for their excellent representation for Summerland over the last year. I have one additional thing I'd like to mention. The Canadian Association of Municipal Administrators, CAMA, has recognized our CAO with a Long Service Recognition Awards program, which celebrates the dedication to public service and municipal management of our members. which is a significant priority for the association. These awards are based on the number of years of full-time paid employment in a municipal government in a management capacity, a chief administrative officer, or reporting directly to a chief administrative officer. They are granted at 10 years and given in 5-year increments. I'm not going to guess at which increment we're at, so.
I'm sure it says.
Okay. Oh, it does, actually. This year in your municipality, we acknowledge the commitment of your Chief Administrative Officer, Ms. Linda Tynan, for her 15 years of municipal service in a managed capacity. And we'd like, they're assisting us, and we're making these comments to congratulate Linda for her service, not only to our community, but to the province as a whole in her dedication to public, her work in public service. So thank you very much, and we appreciate all of it.
On that note?
That I didn't tell you about, did I?
No, you did not. Council, there's lots going on, but flood is really our focus right now, so unfortunately, I'm not going to report on some of the other initiatives that other people are up to. I'm just going to give you a brief update on the flooding. We did have that information session last Monday night for properties bordering Eneas Creek, and obviously the concern is very high, and the attendance was very well attended, and we will be looking at holding more of those meetings if the water continues to rise. Just a note, the water has been stabilizing on Eneas Creek. However, it's record-breaking temperatures, as you know from today. So it is expected that by the end of this week, late this week, probably Thursday or Friday, that we could see some significant increases. Trout Creek is also, our attentions are turning to Trout Creek. It's running faster than we've seen it in history, in many years of history. And the difference between Trout Creek and Eneas Creek is largely fed by the lower levels of snowpack. So not all, and there still is more to come, but it foreseeably could start to reduce, whereas Trout Creek is largely fed by the upper alpine snowpacks, which is really just getting started with this hot weather. So we had a few scares last week where very large trees and stumps and tree balls came down and then block culverts or block bridges. Our staff was kept busy day and night. We have erosion at the campground where we've lost a few campsites. We've been working with the campground operator. We've had the trees and the pathway on Peach Orchard assessed and have taken out some of the trees that were considered a high public danger. We've had to cut electricity off in two houses down at Lakeshore at the outfall of Eneas Creek because their houses are filling with water. And so we currently are still on a state of local emergency for any properties bordering Eneas Creek, and we have an evacuation alert on the 2 homes that are the closest to the big sand berm that was built. So although it hasn't gone up in the last couple of days, we're staying very busy. We did get the Gambion baskets. In most of the efforts that were done, first of all, was to protect the town from water coming through into the downtown. So that there was a number of spots that were vulnerable along Eneas Creek that if they had breached, then the water course would have naturally come through town. So if I can provide more information at a later time, we are trying to keep social media updated when there's changes, and we have a flood phone number, the same one we used last year for the floods, that's dedicated so that we can start to centralize all the calls and make sure that we're logging them and monitoring and not losing track of any of the people that we're trying to keep a high watch on. So that is my report for today, unless there's any questions on flood.
Councillor Traynor.
Do we know when Trout Creek is expected to peak?
Not any idea right now, because probably some of the dams aren't even necessarily spilling. I didn't actually get the report. Chris, did we find out today if Eisentalk and others were spilling? And
Yeah, so Eisentalk Dam is spilling. we didn't hear back if the headwater dams further up in the watershed have started yet. The crews were out today to inspect all of the dams, and we expect a report back tomorrow.
So just so, well, council probably is aware, but our dam system and reservoir system in the back is extensive and takes a great deal of travel time to access them. So we don't have that answer just because we don't actually know if they're all spilling and what the temperatures are going to be. And precipitation plays such a big part. That was the peak last week when it was the Thursday, was the precipitation. And if we get this really hot spell and then it's followed with precipitation, then we really have more to face. And, I'm sorry, and then, may I?
Go ahead.
The lake, just because I don't want to keep the lake off the radar screen, as it is currently increasing about 3 inches a day, and that's quite rapid. It's really, Mission Creek is the biggest feeder up by Kelowna. Trout Creek is a big feeder as well. Really attentions have turned very strongly to the lake as well. As you know, it started out much lower than last year, so it's still significantly lower than last year, but there's new information coming each day on the predicted highs for the lake. It's still predicted to go maybe 20 centimeters over full pool, but not the additional that it was last year.
Thank you. Okay, what have we got? Anything brought forward from this morning's meeting?
Yes, first up, we're going to cover the resolutions brought forward in 9.1.
Okay. Sale?
That would be the corporate officer.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just repeat this resolution from the closed session of March 12th, 2018, that Dawn Bassett be appointed to the Cultural Development Committee, and that the resolution to appoint Dawn Bassett to the Cultural Development Committee be brought forward to a future regular council meeting, that meeting being this one. Then there is a resolution, there's nothing to do with that one, but there is a resolution recommended from the Committee of the Whole meeting this morning, and that is that the presentation, Summerland Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Sharing Stand Introduction, dated May 14th, 2018, be received for information, and that the Summerland Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Sharing Stand Initiative be supported.
And because we didn't have a report prepared from the council meeting, you may just want to explain what that initiative is.
Yeah, so a brief PowerPoint was given this morning at the Committee of the Whole, talking about a sharing stand to be held in probably various locations within Summerland, but starting at, I believe, the United Church, thank you, where those with extra fresh fruits and vegetables in surplus can help out the community by bringing them to the stand, and then those in need can get those food items. It's been modeled in other communities and been quite successful.
So that one you do, it was just a recommendation, so you will ask for a motion.
Okay. We have a motion to, as per se, Councillor Peak, as presented.
As presented.
Seconder, Councillor Holmes, thank you. Any further discussion? I think I'd like to add that this morning's discussion did indicate that in the one community where it has been done in the valley, was that Lake Country or Vernon?
Enderby.
Pardon me? Enderby. That it grew very rapidly, and it was just sort of a word of mouth thing. And what was explained this morning is there's going to be more social media involvement, and they really had a quick doubling over the several years of the volumes that they were receiving. And it's really for anybody in the community, but it will be placed at the United Church to combine with the days that they have available there. And which day is it, do you know, Councillor Peak?
It's going to be Tuesday afternoons from 1 until 4.
That's correct, okay.
For this sharing, and it's because the resource bank is there and it's open and it's likely to draw people in as well.
Yeah, so it's sort of a combination, a day to make it more useful, so. Okay, so, all in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Carried, thank you. Okay, anything else in there?
Is everything there?
Okay. Okay, moving on to correspondence. Have anybody like to bring anything forward from the list of correspondence we had? Councillor Holmes.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to bring forward the correspondence from the District of Kent regarding cannabis production, and also the East Saanich letter on the same topic. Just recognizing that there is a review of the ALR going on, there is legalization of cannabis going on, but the two might not sync up together. And it's looking more likely that cannabis will be legalized before that the review or any changes to the LR are made. So I support this initiative from Saanich, and I think it's quite an urgent matter. So I'd like to introduce the same motion that Saanich has passed and other communities around BC have, agricultural communities have passed. Can I just put it on the table now?
Yeah, sure.
Did you want to make it as a notice to motion to have a report on it, or did you want to actually vote on a motion?
I think
right
that
now?
would be more appropriate, to tell you the truth.
I don't want to tie up a lot of staff time. I think
sorry, I just have to see what page is the Saanich one on?
Seventh item. Or sorry.
What page? Oh.
1017, page 68. It's just asking for the provincial government to put a moratorium on further use of ALR lands to grow cannabis while a review is performed and consultation happens on the use of ALR land for the growth of marijuana.
The only thing that I would suggest to council is with doing a motion like that, without having it on the agenda, you have two councillors missing today, and so that generally you would do a notice of motion and bring it to the next meeting so that you could have a full debate on it, since there was no notice that it was going to be on here. But if...
Fair enough. I'll do that then.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, so
And it'll come to next meeting.
present a notice of motion. Okay.
If I may.
Yeah, Councillor.
I'd like to make another point as well. If it comes forward at a subsequent council meeting, it gives an opportunity for the public who might like to be here to hear the debate.
Councillor Carlson.
And further to that, this was also discussed at the Ag Advisory Committee, and I think that allowing the committee members to know that this has come up as something that council would like to talk about, because there has been some discussion there already, so that information should also be brought forward and considered.
Because we do have a parallel motion from council. We are contemplating a bylaw already that has started this conversation, which is the zoning bylaw to do industrial lands only, at least in the temporary meantime. So we'll bring all that information together.
But that's production, isn't it?
That's production.
So this is talking about growing.
Production, it's growing, it is
And the
growing.
growing.
Yeah, growing, production is considered the growing and the processing, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll bring it next time, we'll tie it in a report, and then we can, we'll have more information coming forward as well.
So does that notice of motion get recorded as a
Well, it's just, I just,
request?
we'll just put it on the agenda next time.
Good. Anything else to be brought forward from the correspondence? Councillor Peak.
Yes, I was pleased to see the letter come forward to the Parks and Recreation Department for an opportunity to have a free movie in the park. I know about 3 years ago, there was a group that was doing that, and it was well received. It's nice to have at least one opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, anything else? Okay, can we have a motion to receive the correspondence, please? Councillor Peak, Councillor Carlson, all in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Okay. We have no committee, commission.
Or none this meeting.
None. Okay, moving on to development services and 11.1. CAO?
And we will, I just wanted to remind council on this particular one that our process has changed. to be in accordance with our procedures bylaw, and that this is an introduction item. It's not, all the details are not here in the report. As soon as we get applications, we will bring them forward immediately for council prior to when they're going to APC and out for referral, so that you're aware. The purpose of them is so that you're aware of the applications, because once they start circulating to the various committees, there's times that you're not aware of them. So this is one of those. This isn't one that's been fully vetted yet.
So the point, yeah, the point of it is that it's brought to our attention. It's not here for any particular amount of discussion at this time.
It could be at some point in time that one could come forward that council just knows that they don't want any further processing. They feel they have enough information to not accept the application.
I see, okay. Councillor Holmes?
Just a note on procedure. Is this the most efficient way to
Yes.
make us aware of it?
Yeah, it is because we don't slow the process. The key is that we're not slowing the process down, which happened, as you know, at the beginning when they were doing the transition, and there was some confusion, which is why I wanted to state it again. So really, it can come in. We say that there hasn't been any processing done, but for example, in this one, they've already sent it to the staff to start their referrals. If we had 2 or 3 or 4 of them in one meeting, we would just have them all on one report, and it would say, and it would be a half a page or a paragraph on each one of them to say, these are the applications we've received, so that you would be aware if you wanted to pull any out before you actually go to bylaw.
Okay, need this resolution brought forward?
Alex
sorry.
will just at least introduce it.
Okay, sorry. Mr. Condor, please.
Thank you very much.
Could you
So-
speak up a bit, Alex, or
You bet.
bring the mic in tighter?
You bet. So as it's already being discussed, this report is to introduce and inform council that we've received an application to rezone a property at 19233 Lakeshore Drive. The application is to rezone the property from RSD1, our residential medium lot zone, to RDH, which is our residential duplex zone. The property is located in the Crescent Beach neighborhood. Staff are recommending that the application be received and processed for further consideration, as it is compatible with the official community plan. This would involve staff presenting the application to the district's Advisory Planning Commission, and then bringing forward a more detailed report and bylaws for consideration at a future date.
May I make just another statement on this process? It's also the time that when, this one will always be yellow highlighted, where normally once they come, they're not yellow highlighted anymore. So when a person makes an application, they have the opportunity, if they so desire, to speak to council in the 5-minute, or in the public speaking time, just to explain your application to you.
Okay. Okay. Someone like to bring that forward, please? Councillor Peak?
So the zoning bylaw amendment application to rezone the property located at 19233 Lakeshore Drive from RSD1 residential to RDH residential duplex zone be received, and the staff be directed to process the application for further consideration.
Seconder, please. Councillor Traynor, thank you. Any further questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. 11.2, CAO, BC Energy Step Code.
And I'll turn that over to Alex and Tammy.
Thank you very much. The district is currently in the process of reviewing and considering adopting the BC Energy Step Code. This is a provincial standard meant to be a tool for local governments and provides incremental steps meant to increase energy efficiency levels for new construction. Before the district, before any local government can adopt any bylaws relating to the BC Energy Step Code, we must file a formal notice of consultation at least 6 months prior to adopting any step code related bylaws. Staff are recommending that a notice of consultation is submitted and that we begin the engagement process. After the consultation process is complete, staff would bring forward proposed changes to the district's building regulation bylaw to implement the step code.
Okay, thank you. Council, any questions on And it sounds like a good move forward. Councillor B.
Yes, so this is something that has been passed through as a provincial mandate, is that correct? Am I getting this correct? And therefore, we're looking to better understand it and do a consultation that gives some education and starts to describe it to our construction and development community. Okay, and the opportunity is that it's happening elsewhere so that we can all piggyback on the things that people are talking about and work along in the same timeframes. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, would someone like to bring that forward, please? Councillor Carlson.
I will move 11.2 as presented.
Give seconder, please. Councillor Changer, thank you. Okay, any further discussion? Councillor
And
Carlson.
just to comment that I think this is a very timely item to be talking about, and having more energy efficient homes and making sure that we're paying attention to that as part of the building code and as part of what is best practice is something that we've talked about in various forms, and so it looks like a good step to be taking, and I hope that it will have some positive results.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Okay, 12.1. Theo is dealing with this. That'll be
Lori Mullin will speak
Lori
to that.
Mullin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. District staff received correspondence from Senator Nancy Green-Rain, who is seeking support for National Health and Fitness Day on the first Saturday of June, with the goal to make Canada the fittest nation on earth. The Senator is also encouraging communities to offer health and fitness programming on this day, as initiatives such as this are a key step in helping build healthier, more active communities. The first weekend of June coincides with Summerland's Action Festival weekend. Council's endorsement of this national initiative will bring greater awareness to the many activities happening on this weekend and hopefully inspire greater participation in activities such as the slow pitch ball tournament, community dance, children's activities, as well as the Giants Head Run and Man of Steel Triathlon. The district is also coordinating Bike to Work and School Week activities, which runs May 28th to June 3rd. The staff recommendation is for council to endorse National Health and Fitness Day and encourage the community to participate in the many local activities happening on and around that day. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Holmes.
I thought it was very kind of the senator to choose the same weekend as Action Fest to make this day. I was just wondering, what exactly does endorse mean? Keeping in mind that's our policy not to make proclamations for days. So what does it mean to endorse?
Did you have, when you guys came up with that, with endorse, did you have some thought on it?
I think the senator is looking for support, general support, and so that was staff's way to, rather than make a proclamation, is to identify, recognize it through an endorsement versus a full proclamation. And the point being is that we are planning lots of health and wellness activities around that time, and we felt that this was a great opportunity to create greater acknowledgement of the health and fitness activities happening at that time, and hopefully get more people participating.
But again, you may just want, to, I mean, it would be practical to say support, we do participate, or that we could participate in the activities of that day would be certainly something that is, that we do often when there's a day that's proclaimed by the federal, provincial government. You can pass a resolution that we will participate in the activities of that day, or that would be fine too to stay away from that because we don't do proclamations.
Yeah, I'd be more comfortable with that wording. Certainly in the senator's letter, they're implying that they're asking for a proclamation, and I wouldn't. And there's a reason. You know, the policy. If we want to change the policy, fine, we could have a debate on that. But I wouldn't want to see other groups, wanting to endorse days just as a way of getting around the proclamation, ended up meaning the same thing. So I I would like the motion to read that we are participating in.
I think you could just take the second one out, and you could just say that you receive it, and instead of, and further that, you could just say that, and that council encouraged the community to participate in the various health and fitness, like, I don't even think you need to mention that.
Why
or
don't I
you-
just trade out the name and the word endorse and put support in there?
Or
We
that,
get-
or
we
you
get
can just say,
requests for support from
or you could
all kinds of things.
but I think you could just say, and that Summerland participates in the National Health and Fitness Day on the first Saturday of June. I think I think Councillor Holmes is correct if you just say, and that and that Summerland participates in the National Health and Fitness Day.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Sure. Got that? Make that change. Okay, can we, so that's the motion with changes. Seconder, please. Councillor Carlson? Yeah, you did.
We assume.
Yeah, repeat it all if you like, Councillor Holmes. Okay, so you want to read it back to us at all in that section, or we've got it?
So it would be Nicole, so, but I
I'm
think
sorry.
we're.
We got it straight? Good.
I believe so. Could I read it out?
Sure, go.
That council received the correspondence dated April 30th, 2018 from Senator Nancy Green, and that Summerland participate in the National Health and Fitness Day on the first Saturday of June, and further that council encouraged the community to participate in the various health and fitness activities taking place during Action Festival, including the District of Summerland's Giant Head Run and Man of Steel triathlon events on June 2nd as a step to increase participation and enhance the health of all Canadians and promote the importance and use of local health, recreational, sports, and fitness facilities on National Health and Fitness Day.
Okay, sounds okay? Okay, we've got a seconder. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Lori. That's good. Moving ahead to 12.2, CAO.
We'll have Tammy speak to that one.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. As you're aware, the LED streetlight retrofit project is underway. Realterm Energy was previously selected by Council as the successful proponent to lead the design and installation of the LEDs. And we've come to the point in the project where we need to select a manufacturer for the lamps. Realterm has provided us with a detailed comparison of the 5 different possible manufacturers under the province's corporate supply agreement. And based on that evaluation, staff is recommending that we select GE as the successful proponent, as they offer, we feel, the best value for dollar in terms of their product. And it's coming before council because GE is not the lowest bidder in this case. However, if you look at the lifetime cost benefit of GE's products, because they have higher energy savings over time, and as well they have a shorter lead time to be able to get the lamps here in the first place, which means we can install them faster, we feel that the cost difference is negligible. As well, their quality of light is higher than any of the other potential manufacturers, which is why we're recommending them. Thank you.
Council? Questions of Mr. All three? Councillor P.
In the analysis, do you take the recommendations as stated, or do you do your own analysis?
We take them as stated.
Thank you. I have no equivocation with this particular. I believe that you have the opportunity to have the gains that we would hope to have over a period of time, and that the small increase in cost would be worth it.
Okay, anybody else? Councillor Carlson?
I can move the motion.
Thank you.
That GE be identified as the preferred manufacturer of the luminaries to be supplied for the streetlight LED retrofit project, and that staff be authorized to finalize and execute the purchase agreement.
Okay, thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Trainer, thank you. Any further discussion? I think it's going to represent fairly considerable savings over the longer term, correct? Yep. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Yep. 12.2.
Or 3.
12.3. Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This report is regarding a referral from the Ministry of Mines and Energy for proposed mining activity by Amarillo Troubadour Resources, which will be conducted within the District of Summerland and District of Peachland's watersheds. In April, the District of Peachland notified us of the mining application, which has been approved by the province without referral to either municipality. Although this has already been approved, the ministry has the ability to adjust the requirements for the work or to cancel the application altogether. So following last council meeting, staff contacted the province and obtained the notice of work outlining the proposed exploration plans located northeast of Eneas Lake, near Glen Lake in the Summerland watershed. The district hired Mr. Don Dobson of Dobson Engineering, who is an industry expert in local watersheds, to complete a review of the proposed work and provide his recommendations. So he concluded that the proposed work does present some potential hazards to the drinking water quality and to the district's watershed as a whole. The main concerns are that the mineral claims are situated within the Trout Creek watershed, which is licensed by the District of Summerland, and that the proposed work, which includes drill holes, trenching, use of use of inactive, non-status forest roads, which are also near the Camp Creek area in the tributary, which is a tributary to Trout Creek. So staff recommends that the referral for the notice of work be opposed and that staff be directed to provide a letter of opposition to the Ministry of Mines and Energy, with the understanding that if the notice of work is not revoked, that the recommendations contained in the attached letter from Dobson Engineering form part of the notice of work and be required to be followed. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Councillor Peak?
If there's runoff, how do we know that runoff would be affecting us?
So part of the recommendations listed in the Dobson report were that, so there's two concerns. There's the drilling mud and the drilling waste, and that be contained in a sump, and that no leaching be contained or be allowed to leach out of the sump into the groundwater, and that if there's any bedrock that is exposed, that the district is notified to ensure that that bedrock is not acid leaching. So there would be requirements for them to contain on site that would be part of their notice of work that would then be enforceable by the ministry for them to ensure that those are being followed.
Thank you, Chris.
I have a question. Your first, number one here in your recommendation is that a letter of opposition be forwarded, and then subject to approval, that you would then send in the recommendations applied to by Dobson.
No.
Yes, isn't it?
It means if they didn't heed your request for it not to be approved,
Yes.
then we would want, if they did approve it, despite you voicing opposition, then at least.
Okay, well, why wouldn't you, in that first letter, make sure that you've got these other concerns addressed, or are those just your recommendations in case it does go ahead, essentially is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's to say if it does go ahead, that you're still, that these are the concerns. So how we word the letter.
Yeah, I guess what I'm asking is I'd like the letter to be pretty strong, is what I'm saying, in recognition of what the engineers
Right,
said.
so the letter's going to, if council passed this motion,
Yes.
or a motion like this, it would say that you're vehemently opposed to it.
Okay.
But if and then somehow it will go on that if they still get approved, then.
Okay, I guess I understand. I just want to make it damn sure that we're very strong on our response. Councillor Traynor.
So I just wanted to be clear here, they already approved it, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and is that common practice? Like, do they normally give us some kind of, and is it common practice to first let Peachland and us know, and secondly, to do this kind of thing in a watershed?
Well, first of all, they've admitted very, very much so that it was an error in not referring it. It was both an error, I think, on the applicant's side for saying it wasn't in a watershed, and it was a second error when they looked at their mapping, that they didn't see our system on the provincial mapping. So that was an oversight. And, I don't know if, Chris, you want to speak to, it's serious in many municipalities. The conversation of protection of watersheds is one that everybody should be having.
So just further to that, then, if they know that they made the mistakes, wouldn't they have canceled it then? Like, why do we have to send a letter of opposition?
Well, they've just started the process now with us.
Yeah, so they're giving us the typical referral process.
Now,
which is a 30-day window to provide comments or opposition to an application.
okay.
So then they'll get our response and determine whether or not to reevaluate the decision they made, or whether to.
So then we would send a letter of saying that we're opposed, and then only if they continue to approve it, would we send the second part then with our stipulations? Is that how it works?
Well, the council could guide us in that direction. I mean, we could craft the letter that stated you're opposed, but that if, it could be in one letter, or you could say just wait and don't send the second part. You run the risk of saying it's opposed and then not knowing right away. It's my suggestion is you would suggest it right up front, so they know that you've done your research and that you have reasons for not wanting it.
Okay.
Councillor Holmes?
Yeah, I think you just answered my question, but it was, why don't we just say send a letter saying we're opposed, and then, and if they go ahead and approve it, then cross that bridge when we get to it. With the second part, why do we want to play our cards now, saying, but you kind of, but I mean, we would still give reasons why we're opposed based on the research that has been
I think
done.
it's important for them to know that council just didn't sit around the table and say, we don't want anything in our watershed, period, that you actually engaged a professional and that you have your rationale. But I still think that would be perfectly fine to leave out the conditions, or not even say if you approve it. You could use those as the reasons that you're.
But we can still say we engaged in a professional, and we've got, and we have reasons for concern, and so this is why we oppose it. I think if you say we oppose it, but if you approve it, this is, I just think it's more stronger if you say we oppose it.
I think that's what I was implying as well. Councillor Carlson?
My question pertains to some correspondence received yesterday from a member of the public who's had some rather thorough conversations and understanding of this, and I'm wondering if at this point in time, this information should be received and considered as part of this opposition in the letter, or if it's something that if this continues to move forward, we need to have a bigger conversation and get a fuller understanding so we can oppose it even in a more strong, forceful way.
I do think that you would need to, I think that if you were going to take the letter into consideration and use it as part of your response, we would have to validate it and make sure that, I'm not suggesting that we couldn't validate it, but we'd have to spend more time on it. So if you.
So we have a very short window at this point to oppose, but following that, if this keeps moving forward, we will need to do more conversing with the ministry and with professionals to make sure that we may have to have a case against this.
So council may want to just, as you're suggesting, propose a resolution that's basically opposed and, a strong opposition and not too much else, with the direction to staff to bring it back if, to request to be notified immediately and have a bigger conversation if they're.
Councillor Holmes?
I'm just wondering, have we been working with Peachland at all? Since I'm sure they're going through the exact same thing, and it might be, if we're united, provide a united front, it might be a more powerful voice.
To be honest, the problem we're facing right now is that the three individuals that are most involved in this is Devin and Chris and myself, and we frankly haven't had more time because of the flooding to spend on researching this further, and have had preliminary discussions, but that's exactly what would be good to be doing. We have their, and I think did council get that? We do have their response that they made to the province, and so I think there was more there was more communication that came from Peachland, their actual letter that they sent. I think we saw their staff report. Maybe council didn't actually get that.
I think, though, the point is well taken, Councillor Holmes, in terms of any letter that we send in opposition, we should make sure that it's not only strong, but has the information and the insight that we've gained from our consultant and express that we have engaged a consultant, et cetera. And as the CAO said, you know, we're not just sitting around saying, oh, let's do a letter of opposition. We've got a good reason and some backup to make that, to put that letter together. So somebody like to bring a motion forward, please.
If I may?
Go ahead.
Could I try it? That the mining referral notice of work from Amarillo Troubadour Resources Limited be opposed, and that a letter of opposition be forwarded to the Ministry of Mines and Energy based on the report we received from our whatever. And I don't know whether do you need to do the rest in a motion, or is that just direction?
Yeah, no, we can craft a letter that is outlining,
Yes.
yeah, we don't need it in a motion. We can definitely craft a powerful
Okay,
letter.
so if we keep the motion simpler.
Absolutely.
Give direction on the
Do
other.
you want to add the second portion then, or no?
No, that's what
No.
I'm saying,
Okay,
don't add
Okay,
it.
good. Okay, seconder, please. Councillor Holmes, thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing, no, Councillor Trainer.
Do we know how long or when we expect to hear back from them? Like, is this generally a quick process, or?
We're not sure, but Devin has been in contact with them and will continue to be, we won't just send the letter, we will let them know that the letter's coming, we'll ask them for.
And so they know now that they need to respond to us and, like, keep us in the loop? Like the
Well, they
process
always
does?
know that. This was
An oversight?
Yeah, they definitely acknowledge, they didn't try to not acknowledge it, and definitely we've had correspondence with a number of different people. But it is something that, you know, again, we're getting a little bit of a list for UBCM, but there's been a couple other referral items that I think should have come this way, so it might be something to talk about closer to UBCM time.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. No new business, correct? Into bylaws. Sale.
We will turn this one over to Mr. Condor.
Okay. So we're into bylaws. Thank you very much. We are considering third reading
There, mistake on
and adoption. Our
Third reading and adoption.
There is an amendment being passed around to mayor and council, and I might need a little bit of clarification from corporate officer on how you want to explain that before I get into the details. The substance of the bylaw is exactly the same as being presented to council at every meeting, but we are amending the bylaw for clarity, and that is what's being circulated at the moment.
So before we go, maybe we'll just explain this piece of paper to you if you're not looking. The gist of it's on the back side of your page, the shaded area of gray. The original bylaw, there was a dotted line, it referenced basically a dashed line, and it would lead you to believe it was the white piece of property that was in question for the bylaw. So this is just providing clarity that it's actually the area in the gray shade that is being referenced when we're talking in the bylaw. It was unclear. It was unclear in your initial one.
Yeah.
It may have been in the statement, but not in the description.
The statement was incorrect as well because it said, it referenced the dashed line, and it was on the right-hand side instead of left-hand side. But it can be amended for this third reading. So when you're going into this, we're doing third reading and adoption right now, so you can do the third reading with the bylaw amended.
So if I can just add to that. So both the zoning and the OCP bylaws are amended with the updated map for better clarity. And as well, the zoning bylaw includes a new point 2 regarding the minimum lot area as per council's direction at the previous meeting. to ensure that the lot size was okay at 1.4 hectares instead of 2.
But Mr. Condor is going to walk through,
Yes.
just so that
Yes.
that you're clear on what you're...
Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Condor.
Thank you very much, everybody. So this bylaw has three main components. A portion of the property is under consideration to have the OCP designation changed from agriculture to rural residential. The zone for the same portion is proposed to be changed from A1 to country residential. And then the third component is to create a site-specific lot size for the portion of the property that will remain A1. These changes are in response to an ALR exclusion application that was approved by the ALC in August of 2016. The ALC approved a proposal to exclude 2.2 hectares of land from the ALR, which is the area that's shown in red hatch. A condition of the approval is that a subdivision is completed to delineate this 2.2 hectare exclusion area. So the proposal again is to change the OCP of the area that's hatched in red from agriculture to rural residential, change the zone from A1 to country residential, and then because the remainder portion that's going to remain in the ALR and going to remain zoned A1 is below our minimum lot size that a subdivision approving officer can approve, at the zoning stage, we are creating a site-specific lot size for this property of 1.4 hectares, which will allow the applicant to apply to subdivide the property.
And for clarity for council, they passed first and second reading of the OCP and zoning amendments and passed a resolution about the lot size. But, and that was upon Dean's recommendation, Mr. Strachan's recommendation, but a resolution wouldn't have given the authority to the approving officer to be able to enable it. So this piece that Alex has added in this time is just to actually follow correct procedure for allowing the approving officer to do this.
Thank you.
So there's no changes at all to last meeting's resolutions and motions. It's just the vehicle and the presentation.
Councillor Peak.
I might note that in the ALC's decision that the subdivision plan being completed within 3 years from the date of release of this decision, so that will apply.
That is correct. They felt the need to give a 3-year deadline to subdivide the property.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Councillor Holmes.
I'll bring it forward as written, presented,
Okay.
amended.
Seconder, Councillor Peak, thank you. Okay. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, we've got a seconder. Yeah. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Moving on to 14.2. Okay.
Mr. Condor.
Mr. Condor, please.
Thank you very much. Okay. So this is a introduction and consideration of first and second reading. We've had this application since around April of 2017, and this application had made it through our Advisory Planning Commission, and staff have been working with the applicant on their development concept. The application and the proposed change is to change the official community plan from low-density residential to medium-density residential, and to rezone from the current RDH duplex zone to a medium-density zone. The proposed development meets the criteria for medium-density residential designation stated in the OCP and outlined in your report. If the amendments are approved, it will result in one duplex and one single detached house on the same property. This form of development fits into the surrounding neighborhood, and the proposed development is unlikely to create any adverse traffic impacts. The proposed development is within walking distance to transit, school, and commercial shops. The property is at 8707 Tomlin Street, which is located on the intersection of Giants Head Road and Tomlin Street. As noted, the property is currently designated low-density residential, as are some of the surrounding properties. The neighborhood is a mix of low-density residential and medium-density residential. The property is currently zoned RDH, as are many of the surrounding properties. And then directly across the street, as you're seeing on the zoning map, the properties are zoned RMD, which is what is proposed. There is an existing duplex on the property with approximately 4 parking spaces, as shown in the air photo here. And the development concept, which would need to be approved through the development permit process if the rezoning and OCP amendments were approved, is to add 1 proposed single-attached dwelling as shown on this concept site plan with access coming off of Tomlin Street. There is 1 variance needed to the side yard setback that staff would bring forward at a future date to vary the east property line, the east side property line from 4 meters down to about 1.5 meters, and staff would bring forward a separate report and notification for that variance. Thank you.
Okay, council, questions? Councillor Holmes?
Yeah, I was just wondering about the side yard variance. If approving this doesn't then impact that variance, if that would be something we consider later, and it's not, it wouldn't change their ability to then, what am I trying to say? If that variance wasn't passed, they could still proceed with a project of some sort.
That is correct. The variance would be right now to vary from 4 meters down to 1.5 meters, so they may just end up with a narrower dwelling.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else? Okay, we have, okay, would someone like to bring that forward, please? Councillor Carlson?
I'll move 14.2 regarding 8707 Tomlin Street as presented.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Holmes, thank you. Any further discussion? We're good. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Okay, 14.3, Mr. Condor.
Thank you very much. This is to consider first and second reading for an OCP and zoning bylaw. The proposed change is to amend the official community plan for a property at 20201 Highway number 40, commonly known as Summerland Princeton Road, from open lands to agriculture, and to change the zone from Ag2 or AG2 to A2. The Ag2 zone is actually a RDUS zone that remains in force as the property was annexed around 2005, and the district has not given that property a zoning classification. And then this application is also to consider allowing a 15-unit campground on the site as a site-specific use on a permanent basis. The property is located at our very westernmost boundary on Highway number 40. The property is currently designated open lands in our official community plan. It's worth noting that the property is within our environmentally sensitive development permit area, which would mean that any further development of this property, if the zoning was approved, would require a development permit to be approved for issuance by council and a corresponding environmental assessment to be provided. As noted, the property is currently unzoned within our zoning bylaw and remains zoned Ag 2 in the RDUS zoning bylaw. The proposal here is shown on this last slide. There is an existing single-family house and several outbuildings, and I believe there's a horse paddock. And the proposal would be to build a 15-unit campground in the front portion of the property here. And then for the most part, leave the property undeveloped, and if the property were to be zoned to A2, any type of agricultural use contemplated in the A2 zone would be allowed on this site. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Council, any questions of the planner?
Counselor Trainer as well.
Oh, Counselor Trainer.
Forgot what my question is. Sorry.
Comes with having a
It's
meeting.
not that important. Sorry.
Might have been.
It went out of my head.
Okay. Just have a question about environmentally sensitive areas. I note that it's 68% low value ESA 3. So even with that lower rating for the bulk of the property? Sorry, just note that 68% of the property is low value or ESA 3. That still requires a report from a biologist at some point if there was more required?
That's correct, Mr. Mayor. Part of the environmentally sensitive development permit process is that an environmental assessment is carried out on a site-specific basis on this property. And so what you're reading in the staff report is the results of the environmental assessment.
Okay,
So
yeah.
The applicants are being somewhat proactive here, so we understand at this stage that most of the property is deemed to be ESA 2 and ESA 3 areas.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Council, someone like to bring the floor? Councillor Peak.
Yeah, the official community plan amendment for Highway 40 and the zoning bylaw amendment for the same property be read a first and second time. Staff be directed to prepare a section 219 restricted covenant to be considered in conjunction with the adopting of the zoning bylaw and the report on the official community plan, and that it be brought forward for a public hearing to be held on June 11th to receive public feedback on the OCP amendment and the zoning bylaw amendment.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Trainer, thank you. Any further discussion? Good. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Moving on. Oh, we're already there. Councillor reports. Councillor Trainer.
I don't have much to report this time.
Nothing happened in the last number of weeks?
I had a baby on April 19th.
Ah, okay. I knew something had happened.
We got to see it again.
Yes,
Okay.
I've been preoccupied.
Preoccupied, I
Yeah.
see. No, but important duties. Councillor Carlson.
As was mentioned earlier, I was able to attend the Victory Europe celebrations and commemorations at the KVR train, as well as up at the Canyon View Cemetery. So it was a very worthwhile experience, and I hope that someone from council will be able to continue to participate in that, and hopefully members of the public will continue to participate as well. And then I went to Climate Action Committee meeting. It was the first of the new committee, and there's lots of stuff going on and very committed members, and they are actually doing some very positive work and seem to be collaborating well together and with Tammy, and so that was a really worthwhile meeting to attend. We also met the new recycling ambassadors, and they gave a little bit of an update on where they're at with the cart rollout and the program that is going to be implemented this summer. So that was great to meet them. We have some pretty good students working for us this summer, sounds like. This past weekend, I went to the BC Library Trustees Association Conference and AGM in Richmond, and that was very well attended, and there was a lot of discussion about inclusion and making sure that libraries continue and are safe spaces for everybody. So it was really neat, and they put a really good conference together. I sat on the board of that association for the last 2 years, and my term is up, and I did not decide to participate again, so I won't be doing that at this point in time. So it's kind of it was nice to get to know those folks, and now it's nice to be done with that. And the next day, Wednesday, is another Okanagan Regional Library Board meeting, and that's in Kelowna, and we are still looking for a new CAO, or CEO, so hopefully that will wrap up soon, and there's probably more, but that's enough from me.
Councillor Holmes.
I'm sorry Lori left. I wanted to congratulate her on an excellent open house for the rec master plan on Wednesday. I think more than 100 people attended,
Excellent.
and the feedback was excellent. I'm really looking forward to hearing what all the public feedback. But for when I was there, there was, I thought, quite a bit of excitement in the room and enthusiasm of us moving forward some of the things that are in that plan. I just wanted to report out a bit about the Southern Interior Local Government Association annual conference that myself and Councillor Peake and Councillor Boot attended in Revelstoke at the end of April. There was a lot, one of the main things on the two big things on the agenda were affordable housing and cannabis legalization. And I certainly learned a lot regarding the cannabis and how local government's really on the front line of the legalization, the regulations, and the number of bylaws and regulations that we need to look at. It's quite mind-boggling, really, and a lot has been put on us, and we have a lot of work to do. I've written a counselor's column, which maybe will go in this week, right, John? About basically what the local government's facing in terms of legalization. There was an excellent keynote speaker, Ivan Coyote, a transgender writer, at that conference. And if anybody's ever had the opportunity to hear him speak, or I say take advantage of it, he was quite excellent. I think he really delivered the message to how we as civic leaders need to stop thinking and making decisions based on gender, and that that we stop thinking that in terms of male and female, and that we're just all people, and that's really both on the practical level when we're looking at installing public washrooms and change rooms and that, but also on the higher level too. So that was. You can imagine all the mayors and councillors from the Southern Interior. There was quite a lot of people like me, white middle-aged white guys who are getting their heads around this, and it was. I think it was a perfect speaker for a perfect audience there. So.
Thank you, Councillor Peake.
I also attended SILGA, as Councillor Holmes mentioned. I think that what Councillor Holmes brought up was valuable. One of the other things that I felt was very good in the attendance at that was Revelstoke very strongly spoke to how they reinvigorated their community over the last 30 years, and that was another very interesting piece. I attended the Agger Lake AGM. I've done Rotaries. I did the breakfast as the mayor did for Neighborhood Link. And I've attended the Arts Council Board. We had a wonderful wine walk in Summerland. Lovely to have the stores open on a Friday evening, and it was extremely well received. I would like to comment on the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. I think the consultants did a very good job on presenting that plan, and it was a very well-run open house. I've had a KVR board meeting since our last meeting, and I went to the Fish Hatchery open house this last weekend, which was a wonderful event. Lots of people went out to that, a beautiful day. And I also went to the Mother's Day tea at the library. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, there's an opportunity for any member of the public to bring up any comments at this time. You're starting to speak to yourself already.
I know. It's concerning the garbage changes and things like that. Has there been any consideration given to also adding one day a year? This doesn't have to be now because this is all just brand new to everybody, but where they have large item pickups. I know that in several communities they have one day a year set aside for that you can put out broken toys, for example, that don't fit into the garbage bin and things like that. So has there been anything brought up about that, or?
Well, I think you raising it is a good point, so we'll take that under advisement. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay, media. Questions? John? Susan? Okay, could I have a motion for adjournment, please? Councillor Peake, Councillor Carlson, all in favor? Carried. Thank you.